Well, hey there, everybody. It's day 23. Donald Trump, you are fired. And boy, does more than just him need to be. Thought we'd keep it a little informal tonight. I gotta do this 77 more times. It's good to rest. I think we're taught in our culture that we're just go, 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 but there's so much of, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing, even when it comes to thinking. At a certain point, thinking becomes counterproductive. We don't have to think to survive from moment to moment, right? Well, maybe you never thought about that. It's good to rest. As a young woman I used to know in LA, and she said one time she was quoting someone, so unfortunately I don't know where this comes from. She couldn't remember, and I don't know. I guess I could look it up. I never have, never thought to until right now. She said rest is not the opposite of effort, but its foundation. I've never forgotten that. It's good to rest. I didn't go on social media today. I think that was a healthy choice. And I spent some time doing some constructive but fun things like building some Lego flowers. Magnolia branches. Still have one more I need to do to finish, but I want to try to get these done a little earlier because it's a long time I've been out of the gym right now. So there's a good reason, but we'll go into it. But I'm gonna get back in the morning. It's really missing it, needing it back. Yeah. Also been thinking about how important good writing is and how even if we just roll back the clock, I'm not saying there isn't today, but if we even just roll back the clock to like the early 1990s, even a lot of the films that were coming out, they were so well written. When I'm working, sometimes I put on films in the background, and today I put on Silence of the Lambs. And I remember reading something recently that Anthony Hopkins was saying that a lot of the work was done for him. He didn't have to do some big over-the-top performance and try to muscle the character. He got to, he was a wise enough artist at that point in his career that he experienced enough that he understood that most of the ridiculous and horrible things that are said about his character, or that his character does, are talked about, other characters talking about it. And it's like the audience's imagination fills it. And he says something is said about he's talking to someone else in the mental hospital, and that person's life ends just from him whispering to the person all afternoon. I'm not spoiling anything in the film if you haven't seen it, but great writing is like that. It's like it fills. I was thinking about my favorite novel today, and I pulled it out to show it to you. My copy's super beat up. This is not easy to read, but if you ever get around to it, this is such a rewarding experience. You will, I wager, read noticeably faster after you get through this. If you do try it, maybe read something else easy at the same time. Maybe like just a fantasy story or Harry Potter or something like that. But if you ever get around to it, pick this up. I love this book so much. I've read through it 3 times. It's huge. But there's parts in this where he just drops out of all this beautiful descriptive language and this imagery, and he'll say something, just flat kind of description of something that happens. Like at one point he uses this sentence, there was a bad sound of glass. And you're like, oh, you know exactly what that means. And good writing is so important. And education is so important. You know, the Constitution is well written. Leaves of Grass that I just read is, recited, part of, is very well written. And if you're having trouble with what's going on right now, I encourage you to write. Keep a journal. If you feel like you're angry and you can't get out of it, or you can't stop, you can't figure out a way to handle it without hitting the bottle or the pipe or something like that. There's a lot of people like that. Try sitting down with a piece of paper. And I think in the beginning it's easy for it to feel silly. Like, what am I doing here? Why, this is so stupid. What am I going to say? Write that. That's where you start. Get this monologue on paper. That's a great place to start. This is stupid. I don't know what to say. Keep going. I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be golfing. I'd rather be drinking, whatever. But get it out. And then what happens is, if you actually do get into it, you look back years later, I think, at least I look back years later, and sometimes it's like, I can't believe I wrote that. I've written a lot of verse poetry in my life, and I think that learning to write verse, especially rhyming verse, is a very high art, very challenging skill to develop. It forces us to work within a very strict lyrical framework, and I think we get to creative places that we wouldn't get to if we didn't work on making something make sense within a rhyme, for instance. It takes us places we wouldn't go otherwise, and trying so hard to meet the sense of the line halfway with the music of the language so it doesn't sound contrived. A lot of new age poets, it's just, I'm not here to condemn other techniques or other writers, but it's just kind of, I feel like it's just these like watercolors with words. It's just like, this splash of like colorful language, and like there's some sort of vaguely esoteric sort of meaning, sort of like, lining on the thing, or like sort of baked into it somewhere. Robert Frost one time said, I can't remember verbatim, but he said, I'd as soon write free verse as play tennis without a net. He was very conservative. I'm a moderate in a lot of ways, even politically. I appreciate it. I write free form poetry, and I write a lot of verse. I just can't. I don't know. I look at. I guess what I'm trying to say is I look at these peacocks nowadays. I see this one senator I've never seen before. I don't know who she is, wearing this like lime green outfit, talking about she's talked to someone who's talked to Mitch McConnell, and I'm like, that does not help the situation, sister. How dare you? What have they offered you? What are you doing? We're not stupid. There's a saying, you can fool all of the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. They're playing us for fools. I see the ridiculous amount of usually pearls and gold and more pearls in her ears, and then I see another video, they're asking Ted Cruz about it, and he's wearing some really nice suit with like these beautifully rolled lapels, and like I'm like, what is with these people? They need to be fired. Don't you think it's strange that convention of states is not something you're hearing about more? I got a little upset last night. I realized that so YouTube, when you make a YouTube video, they have all these things you can fill out, like description, yada yada yada, playlist, and at the bottom there's this thing that says AI and like tags, something like that. Well, so I think in my earliest videos on this channel, which are now over 3 years old, and I had long hair back then, before these real estate agents got involved in my life. Well, I mean, actually, they had already screwed around once in 2021, but it wasn't like what it is now. But I think I maybe did this differently back then, and I maybe knew better or didn't realize there was a difference. But that tags thing is not where you put your hashtags. So all my hashtags have been getting wiped out. So I got to go through and redo, because these videos haven't been getting out there as much as I'd like them to. It's okay. Glad we didn't get to like day 83 before I realized that, but I will redo that. I think probably tomorrow afternoon I'll redo it. Oh, it's a busy week coming. But one of the things I've been tagging that's been getting wiped out is convention of states. I've read about this and heard about it. 36 or 38 states come together, and independently of the federal government, we can propose constitutional amendments, and if 38 states ratify them, they will become law, the law of the land. And there's nothing that the president or the federal government or the Supreme Court can do about it. The will of the people rules here. Like I was revisiting last night from Walt Whitman, the correct manner of regard between the people and the president is the president takes his hat off to the people, not the people, not they to him. No, or her. Hopefully soon, her. Man, be nice to have a lady president. We're so upside down right now. So I want to keep this one under 15 minutes. Probably won't succeed at that. I wanted to, speaking of writing, and just kind of as a little palate cleanser here from all this nightmare fuel, I wanted to share something with you. I told you I'd visit with you with my own work a little bit, shorter stuff than I've read so far. So I have a few memorized. And I think, which one should I share with you tonight? Eventually, eventually I will go through like in order, I think maybe, and I'll go through as I'm revising, and about 80 of them are going to wind up in my first book. I need to finish revising probably at least 30, 40 of them. But some of them are finished. So tonight, maybe since I just mentioned Lady President, I'll share the one about the kindness of women. I can't remember which number this one is because I redid all the numbers. It might be 83 now. And there's kind of a sad story behind this one's creation. I won't tell it right now, but anyway, I have a sonnet tonight, a rhyming sonnet. Just something maybe for you to just help you ease into a new week of this chaos that we're experiencing and feel a little hopeful. I did clean my sound bowl, by the way. I didn't know that such a rigorous, so many people on the internet so purist about this. Oh, you have to dust it every time you use it, and any amount of oil from your fingers can alter its pitch and stuff. All right, well, maybe some old handmade Tibetan sound bowl, but mine is like machined brass. Like it's It's a modern sound bowl, and I think it sounds exactly the same. Maybe if you're one of the odd ducks among us who has perfect pitch, maybe you could tell if it's a little off, but to me it sounds fine. A little white vinegar and baking soda cleaned it up nice. Anyway, the numbers of the sonnets don't matter. You don't give them titles. Title would be kind of redundant, like putting a bow on something that already has a bow on it. The bow on a sonnet is the couplet, the last two lines. Anyway. A woman's kindness can no doubt outpace any lightning balm or cure-all. In truth, the least you deserve is to know your grace has power to help dress healing wounds of youth. In smallest gestures, you've a touch that wields something indelibly bright, which these lines prove can sow wildflowers in one-time drowning fields of woe, fields dry cured into a gentle man. Now joy abounds to feel that kind of warmth again, if for just an instant, plus to recollect past tenderness and know love gives its best when it desires little else than kindly to reflect in kind. So it's my honor to be clear. A desert blooms, and you're remembered here. I like that one. It's like a single from an album, if you know what I mean. And I'm inspired by Walt Whitman. I'm reading little bits of Song of Myself to my friend today who came over, and he hadn't been to my new place yet. And I served him some apple pie and ice cream, and we talked for a little while, and then went for a walk. And I was sharing a little of Leaves of Grass because he's older than I am and he hasn't read it. And so I was looking at Song of Myself as the biggest piece. It's like in my copy that you saw, it's 102 pages. It's not, prose, so it's not every line is filled up, but still it would take me, I estimate, over an hour and a half to read it. So I'm not gonna try it right now. Maybe towards the end of this, maybe I'll be like, all right, I want to do that. But that's the part of it that's most famous. And excuse me. But there's so much of it that's so personal. He even put his own name in the poem. His own name. And I'm like, man, it was novelty in the mid-1800s. But he put that out there, and now it's a thing. Charles Bukowski, I think about him a lot lately. He just he called them poems, P-O-M-E-S, poems. He used to throw them poems out there. Just throw them out there. So I'm throwing mine out there a little bit now. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you try reading Infinite Jest sometime. It's really awesome. I don't like to sugarcoat it, It's a challenging read, but it's worth it. It's a magnificent work of fiction. Oh, I almost knocked my flower over. That would have been bad. Yeah. I'm really serious, guys. Like, it's gonna be okay. What Trump just did at the White House Correspondents' Dinner was for more and more people. Like everybody's got a line, You'd say, oh well, some sociopathic or psychopathic people, their line is like way out of bounds. All right, fair enough, but they still got a line where they'll speak up, act out, or do something about what's happening. Will activate them. That's why I like that word so much. What Trump is doing now is activating. More and more people are getting activated by this. He's there, and I'm proud of those press. Proud of Wolf Blitzer. I'm proud of Caitlin Collins. I'm proud of them for standing sitting there in the same room and listening to him be so abusive and using the word Democrats like he does. And he's a very, very foolish and poorly educated man, Donald John Trump. And that's, the press, that's the way that they stand up to it. They're in the room they're invited there, and well, we're going to give rewards for investigating you and your corruption. And he's sitting there, and $20 billion lawsuits mentioning it's like it's funny, but it's not funny. You get up there and it's interesting to watch them trade blows. Again, I think we've been at a kind of world war for a long time here, guys. I don't want to scare anybody, but what if World War III is a spiritual war? And what if it's the last war that has to happen? Because war becomes a thing of the past for 1,000 years or even 1,000 generations. Why not spend some time today with that idea? Anyway, we're over 20 minutes here again. I wish you a restful evening, and I hope that you're doing okay, that you had a nice weekend, productive weekend like I did. Remember to breathe, Remember to rest. Grab a little notebook or something. Grab a piece of paper just out of your printer and a hard, big book, or just sit down with your lap, and if you got the TV on, you think of something funny, or you think, hey, I just want to write, F Donald Trump. Like, all right, write that. Great. You could write it 100 times. If it makes you feel better, you did good, But something is better than nothing at this point. That's a recurring theme here I'm going to keep coming back to. Something is better than doing nothing. Something proactive, something, even if you can only be negative, it's a positive thing to be getting it out of your body onto a page, or make your own video. You can scream blue streak of curses all you want, or grab a pillow and scream into the pillow, whatever you need to do, but take it out some way that doesn't involve hurting yourself or hurting other people. And if you keep it bottled up, eventually you are going to get overwhelmed in here, and you're going to, snap at somebody, and you're probably going to feel bad about that, and then that's going to compound how you feel and badly about everything. And then people wind up at the doctor. I don't know why I feel so bad. And it's like, well, and unfortunately we've got a lot of doctors around that'll just be like, okay, well, here's some pills. They don't ask questions. I know this. I lived with this person in New York years ago. Told me some troubling things. To send her in there with a list of questions. She comes back. She sits down like, that was so weird. I started asking him what you told me to ask, and it was the first time ever he gave me my medication without making me pay, and he started looking at his watch and stuff, and I was like, yeah, maybe that's not a great doctor to be going to. And she never went back. So, that was 16 years ago. She was so lovely as a roommate of mine. Hope she's doing well. Anyway, rest up. Eat Bombay. See you tomorrow for day 24. Good night, everybody. Lots of love. We're going to get through this. Bye now.